Pleased to present you today the Master in Wine and Spirits, Communication and Marketing of the University of Gastronomic Sciences. I hope you all can listen to me properly and the sound is good. Okay, very well. So let's go on. We have this master organized together with a bunch of very interesting and promising partners. First of all, two neighbors of us, the Bank of Wine and Slow Food. The Bank of Wine is a project that collects the memory of Italian wines, and starting from 1998, it is now treasuring. It has been treasuring the best of Italian wines for long aging during the last 25 years. The second is Slow Food, founder of the university, together with Region Piemonte and Emilia-Romagna, and association worldwide based that you probably very well know. Alongside these two, let's say, historical partners of this master, we have four new partners. The first is the Wine Set, so the Wine and Spirit Educational Trust based in London, probably the most important school for sommelier around the world, with the standards that is absolutely recognized in most of the countries of the world, and that is embedded in the course with its approach. I'll tell you something about that later. The second is the most important association of sommelier in Italy. Italy has a long tradition with the education of sommelier and has a specific language elaborated for the wines of this country, first of all, but also for a presentation of the link between wine and terroirs that is peculiar to this country. And I'll tell you about this second collaboration that we have established. Then we have the Maison du Whisky, which is a super important organization among distributors and promoters of fine whiskies around the world, based in Paris, and Velier, that is by far one of the most important distributor of specialty spirits in Italy, and is based in Genoa. The reason of these important partnerships relies on the fact that this course is one, but the main topics of it are two. We have designed a program in which 70% of the classes is devoted to wine, when 30% is devoted to spirits. And among this 100% ECTS, or as we said in Europe, credits, 10% of them are left to be finally designed together with the students in a way that can therefore offer the students the opportunity to work hands-on their own program by suggesting seminars, suggesting further implementations of the program, and so on. The objectives are two mainly. The first is to educate new professionals that can enter the world of wine or spirits, bringing a deep knowledge about storytelling and skills about marketing and communication so that they can participate in the development of this industry. The second is to provide knowledge and competencies to specific figures that work into the cultivation, the distillation, the wine and spirits cultures, not necessarily in the market of them, and with a special attention for the pairing techniques and the word of pairing between these drinks and food. All of this is to prepare people that would like to participate in the creation of new strategies in terms of entrepreneurship and marketing, but also to invent and to participate in the creation of languages and new assets of perception and creativity. The first thematic module I'd like to tell you something about is the first module about wine. We have comparative viticulture, basics of enology, tasting techniques, including sensory analysis, alternative approaches to wine appreciation, history of art in wine producing areas. As you can see, we have purely scientific topics treated with enologists and prominent scholars in these fields, alongside a human sciences approach declined to wine. In particular, history of wine in wine-producing areas is a very insightful part of the course that at the same time includes the knowledge of wine and pairs it with the knowledge of the history of art of the terroirs where wine is sourced. The second thematic module is Wine and Spirits Natural History, with probably the two most prominent scholars in the world, authors of books for Yale University Press in this field, that are Robert DeSalle and Ian Tattersall from the Museum of Natural History in New York. Wine production and labeling law, that are actually my topics, for I'm a lawyer and a scholar in this field. Wine journalism, wine marketing and entrepreneurship, wine languages and writing, that are the area in which you will be working under the direction of my colleague Nicola Perullo, who is the co-convener of this course and also the pro-rector of this university. Here are some of the guys that I have already mentioned. On the left, from top to down, you see Ian Tattersall and Rob DeSalle. On the right, you see Nicola Perullo, just mentioned him. And down to him, you see Armando Castagno, who is one of the most important connoisseurs in this country, author of books that are fundamental about Bourgogne, about Beaujolais, about Bordeaux, and Chevalier de Tasteven, and a great expert in the history of art too, that he can perfectly pair with wines and with storytelling about wines in a way that you will find absolutely charming. But if you don't trust me, and this is understandable for I'm a lawyer, you can easily Google on YouTube about Armando Castagno and discover the amazing quality of this guy in presenting wines and terroirs. Here is one of the classes that is held in the Bank of Wine. I told you about the partnership with the Bank of Wine. So underground, just under the foundations of the University of Gastronomic Sciences, is the Bank of Wine. Here we have a large classroom where the students attend mostly the seminars, but also regular classes. The seminars are normally devoted to an area, to a bunch of producers, to a philosophy of wine represented by some producers. Therefore, these kind of classes, these kind of seminars are often very interactive. There is a theoretical part, there is a practical part. The tasting goes together with the learning in a way that can be completely distinguished from it. The third thematic module is the thematic module about spirits. The thematic module about spirits starts, as we have seen, we start in the field of wine, from raw material, fermentation, distillation, and aging, therefore the phases of production of spirits. Then we devote single parts of the course to some of the most important worldwide spirits: whiskey, rum, grappa, for we are in Italy and it's important to pay attention to this too. Then we go to other products that are not all of them spirits, are for sure spirits and very popular in this moment in history, gin and vodka, but are not spirits as well, liqueurs and bitter. But due to the fact that today most of the consumption of these goods is due to mixology, to undervalue the contribution of liqueurs and other types of alcoholic beverages to the consumption of spirits would be something that we not recommend. And this is why we include also other types of alcoholic beverages in the program we are going to treat. Then we have tasting techniques that are for sure peculiar and different to the tasting techniques of wines. Marketing and communication, especially declined for with the declination about spirits, legislation again, and mixology, which is peculiar to this part of the course for the wines mixology that already exists is not absolutely as developed as it is in the field of spirit. Well, I told you about the wine set collaboration with this master. All our students will have, during the regular course of the master, the classes that will allow them to be examined at the end of the master program to get the wine set 3 certification, the higher level in the wine set certification for sommelier, internationally recognized. It means that you don't have to spend a penny more compared to the fee, of course, of the whole master course in order to have both the master, which is a first category master with 90 ECTS, and as well all the classes and the tastings that are needed to participate in the examination for wine set 3 and the participation to wine set 3, and of course if you have studied enough, you get the certification of wine set 3 after a positive examination of your skills. As I told you, we have also had a collaboration with the most important Italian Association of Sommelier, which is, and for the students that will like to have this opportunity, extra time, but for free too, there will be a course to achieve the second level of the Italian Association of Sommelier, so acquiring the language and having an amazing extra opportunity of tasting Italian wines, extra to the wines that you will be tasting during the course, to get also the examination and the title of second level sommelier certification according to the standard of the association AIS. These two collaborations will be absolutely important to give features to this course that are able to grant our students a further opportunity to enter the market, in particular if you are interested into the field of sommelierie, and also if you evaluate positively the opportunity of working in the distribution of these goods and in particular the use in the restoration of this kind of goods. About Maison de Whisky, Wine Bank, and Velier, it's extremely important for us to correctly represent that we will have dozens seminars about producers and areas during which the opportunity to taste and to know products will be granted thanks to these collaborations. So you will have an amazing quantity of days during which you will have the opportunity to participate seminars, know producers, and taste wines inside the walls of the university. Here are some of the other guys you're going to meet, and these are the guys that are involved into the area of marketing and strategy. They are Roberta Sassatelli from top left, Złatka Scarso from Hungary, top right, and lower to them, Cinzia Parolini and Carmine Garzia, professors in Modena and currently in the University of Italian Switzerland. All of them have published and released books about the marketing of wine and the marketing of fine food, and therefore they are extremely prepared in order to grant you the state of the art of this discipline about wine and about the spirits. Tasting and seminars include up to 25 tastings and seminars at the Wine Bank, the place I mentioned before, in the large classroom that we have here, but also opportunities to meet producers, winemakers, journalists, and influencers. This is what we do here at the headquarters of the university in Piedmont. But then we have 3 study trips planned during the next academic year. 3 study trips that, due to the current pandemic situation, at the moment I'm talking to you, will be in Italy and in Europe. But we definitely hope that we will be able, as soon as possible, to go a bit extra Europe too, as we've been used to do in the past, going to California, going to South Africa, going to Georgia on the Caucasian mountains. Well, these 3 study trips grant unique extra occasions to our students. We go visiting large terroirs in which wine or spirits are crucial productions. During the study trips, there are not less than 40 meetings with producers and visits of wineries, vineyards, and distilleries. There are not less than 150 hours of didactic activities, including wine and spirits tastings during the study trips. This allows the students to know by hand, to know by getting merged into the reality of production, special terroir. Every year we go in one of the great terroirs in France, maybe Champagne, maybe Burgundy, maybe Bordeaux, as well as we go to the most important areas in Italy, at least in Tuscany or in the northeast of the country where the Prosecco is produced. Normally, we do not organize trips in Piedmont for the students use regularly their weekend to visit the wineries of the area and to profit of the occasion to live for a bit less than 1 year in this region. At the end of the course is very important to recall our career center approach. Every student is invited to organize an internship at the end of the experience in Polet. If the student wants, if the student is not interested into finding a new job or experiencing an internship to prepare himself or herself about a new job, this part of the course, so the internship can be converted into a personal research time during which the student spends time in order to research, to deepen the knowledge of some topics and to write a research thesis. But the large majority of the students organize themselves to have a long internship into a winery, into an e-commerce of wine and spirits, into a distillery, into a restaurant. We have plenty of different destinations that are chosen by our students. This is absolutely important for us because getting in touch with the professional future before ending the university course is guaranteed to have less difficulties in finding a new satisfying job at the end of the path. What is our approach? Well, during the course, you will meet many times the Career Center. They will interview you. They will get information from you and give you information. Through this process, you will refine your expectation about the internship, and in the end, you will be probably likely able to individuate where you want to spend your internship and for what purpose. Once you have individuated the company or the companies or the organization or the distillery or whatever else is the place where you want to spend your internship, the Career Center will help you getting in contact, writing the presentation letter, preparing every bureaucratic burden you have to suffer in order to go on an internship. At the end of this, you will be spending your time in an internship that will be likely very satisfying for you and perfectly completing with an hands-on experience what you've been doing for months in the classes here in Polet. Here you find some of the professional profiles that in the past we've been preparing through this course and the previous editions of this course that did not include the spirits section as they do today. We have had wine market analyst, junior expert manager, international sales manager, export area manager, brand ambassador, social media expert and influencer, junior marketing manager, hospitality and public relations, national sales manager, media content analyst. As you can see, there are activities that are more related with the marketing activities and activities that are more related to a pure communication sided activity. This depends on you. This depends on your previous studies. This depends on what you like to do with the competencies you are going to acquire here in Pollenzo and you are going to accumulate here in Pollenzo. Of course, all of these activities can be pursued both in Italy and abroad. And actually, we have plenty of our former students that today, starting from Italy, where they were born, are working abroad. And on the contrary, we've been pleased to welcome students from different countries that today work and live in Italy with local wineries and alcohol producers. Here are the bureaucratic informations, and then I'm absolutely here to answer your eventual questions. The application deadline is December the 2nd, 2022, so you have still a month to think about that. The ranking list publication date is December 6, 2022. The starting date is March 14. Such a delay between the ranking list and the starting date is important in order to grant you the time you need in order to find an accommodation in Bra to solve any eventual bureaucratic problem for the visa and the passport and the certification of your university titles. Because this is a university master and it requires that you have a bachelor degree that in Italian is a laurea triennale at least. Of course, if you have more than that, it's a plus, but minimum a bachelor is required. Without this, you can attend the classes, do all the activities, but you will not have a master degree in the end. You will get a certification of attendance displaying all the activities you've been doing, but without the master degree for the International Organization of Universities have established that for the title of master, it's required to have a previous bachelor degree. The fee is fixed in 17,500 euros and it includes all the trips, okay? So all the flights, all the meals, any activity you do in Pollenzo or outside Pollenzo on behalf of the university is included in this fee, as well as in the fee are included books, any didactic material, any cost for the tastings, any cost for the activities like seminars and so on, as well as any cost for bureaucracy, insurances, like for instance, health insurance, if you are foreigner in Italy, as well as any other insurance for civil liability. What is not included are accommodation and everyday meals, okay? These are on you and remain on you, okay? I hope I've been clear in this synthetic presentation. I close with a picture of the very first class we welcomed here about 8 years ago. Some of them are working today in prominent companies and consortia in Italy, but also abroad. The curly-haired woman, you don't see the face for she's controlling her phone here in the very first position in the picture. Roberta Picco is now working in Singapore for the Italian export of wines in East Asia, and has been for the last 6 years with a growing professional success. Very well. I'm absolutely pleased to answer to eventual questions if you have some.